Hi, how are you?
Hi.
We're booking appointments with 3 popular doctors in Toronto.
Most women wish they got bigger.
I should really like you even better than you think.
So what have we seen you for?
Breast implant.
Sure, yeah. I do lots of those.
But we're not patients, we're journalists with hidden cameras.
Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Investigating what plastic surgeons tell potential patients about the most common cosmetic surgery in the world, breast augmentation.
We'll try a sponge that she's gonna bring.
I started off with nothing, like absolutely nothing. Like I couldn't fill even an A bra, like nothing, and I was bullied a lot.
Nikki Carruthers is one of 10 million with breast implants worldwide, and the numbers are going up.
Maybe I'll get bigger boobs. So I did.
It's over a $1 billion industry, fueled by celebrities like Iggy Azalea going public about how they got their curves.
I love them, and I'm super happy. I would do it again in a heartbeat.
It wasn't just one, there was dozens and dozens, like all the celebrities, like Kendra Wilkinson, Holly, like all those shows that you watch, like every single person with implants, they're everywhere. That's all I was looking at for years.
5 years ago, when she was 23, Nikki visited a private clinic in Winnipeg and paid $6,300 for her silicone implants, going from a 32 AA to a 32 DDD. But about a year ago, Nikki began feeling sicker and sicker without knowing why.
So talk me through the list of symptoms that you've been experiencing.
Okay, so liver tumor, I have a cyst on my spleen, the H. pylori, the gastritis, which is from the H. pylori, the ulcer disease, the acid reflux, the heartburn, bleeding for 3 months. I was vomiting uncontrollably for an entire month.
This sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, I'm only halfway done the list.
She felt all alone until she finds this community online.
It's unexplainable how much better I felt being there, because I felt like, okay, I'm not losing my mind. I'm not an insane person. Like, all these people are going through the same thing. Some people worse.
A support group, over 50,000 strong, dealing with ailments they call breast implant illness or syndrome.
These women are medical orphans.
Dr. Fang is a breast implant expert. She used to put them in. Now women from all over the world fly to her Ohio clinic to take them out.
The capsule is the scar tissue.
It's become her specialty, explanting implants.
Some people don't even know that this could happen, that this constellation of symptoms and signs are related to the implants. There's no recognition of that in the scientific community.
But are all adverse symptoms caused by breast implants?
Yes, yes. I'm pretty sure, because those are the things that get better when you take out the implant and the capsules completely.
The FDA says there's no evidence the illness exists, but they are not ruling out an association between these symptoms and breast implants, arguing more studies are needed.
I never thought that it was the breast implants that were making me sick.
And around the world, women are speaking out.
Why are all these weird things happening to my body?
Hair loss, vertigo, shooting pains in my breast.
Get these out of my body, like I don't want to feel sick again.
Reporting other side effects they feel are linked to their implants.
Every single thing, it just felt like torture on my chest.
Pain, rupture, multiple surgeries.
Apparently my breast implant popped.
Many say they had no idea what they were really buying into.
If I had known this was even like a 0.1% chance, never would have done it.
It was made to seem like getting a haircut. Like, go get a haircut, who cares? Like, everyone was doing it. It wasn't a big deal. Didn't seem like a big deal at all.
No big deal. It's major surgery, and it's the doctor's job to ensure patients know all the risks. And that's why we're visiting clinics, to find out how are they selling implants. We pick 3 Toronto surgeons who have a presence online. Dr. Cara,
Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Kara.
Dr. Rice.
They just want to feel good about themselves.
And Dr. Eugenberg.
There's always options.
First up, Dr. Kara.
It is the latest, best, and greatest implant ever made.
He has an office in this Toronto building. Watching with us, Kerry Bowman, University of Toronto bioethicist. He evaluates doctors' ethical conduct, including how they communicate risks to patients. Kara's big sell online, 24-hour recovery.
So how does it work, the 24-hour recovery?
So it's a whole technique. So there's minimal discomfort, swelling, etc. So that we can get you out to dinner the night after surgery, and we can get you to the beach the next day.
Do you have a video or something? Because I mean, I don't know that we can understand the whole study. Like, we're not doctors.
No, you don't have to understand. You just need to know that I can deliver, and I've done it on thousands of patients. And
you don't need to understand. That's what he said. You don't need to understand. We do this all the time. I mean, I can, yeah. And that would worry me, because you do need to understand. You really, really do need to understand. It's ethical. It's also the law.
Someone's going to give you that nice slope.
Next, we ask, when's the soonest we can get into surgery? We hear 24 hours, 4 days, and then a few weeks. So what are the rules? There is no script plastic surgeons are supposed to follow. Ontario's College of Physicians and Surgeons says patients need appropriate time and information to make informed choices. It's all about consent.
And you know, consent is not your signature on a piece of paper. Consent is the process that you see. Have I answered all of your questions? Do you fully understand and appreciate?
Next, we get our consent forms. We get them right away from Dr. Rice.
Our consent form is very long, 10 pages. You're gonna take it home. Okay. You're gonna read it.
Bowman says that's exactly what should happen. Same at Dr. Kara's clinic.
I would need to get you all the consent forms sent over so that you can review them.
Hello.
But at Dr. Eugenberg's, there seems to be a price to pay.
So, to book a date in, you need to put $2,000 down to get in the calendar.
Right.
And then they send you this copious amount of information that really details the whole procedure, including what to do, what not to do. It's kind of a long path.
Yeah, so would you be able to send me the forms before I put the money down, just so you can like send them to my mom to look over?
I don't think I'm allowed to do that for some reason.
Well, it's not good. I mean, consent forms should be available on request, and I would argue even before request. I mean, I'm not seeing any reason why they couldn't be made available online in advance.
But I feel like I can't commit until I like know all the information, you know? Like.
But after asking repeatedly,
I know.
Yeah.
Like, the information is just like our protocol about how it works.
Yeah, but that still feels like important, you know?
Yeah.
Is there any, can you, I really want that.
we get the forms without paying $2,000. When we asked Dr. Eugenberg about why we were initially asked to pay for consent forms, he says that shouldn't have happened. It was a misunderstanding, and in the future, he'll make sure there's no confusion.
Consent forms can scare people. They could say this could happen, you know, there could be an infection, there could be this, there could be, and there's risks with all surgery. But that's no reason to hold back on them.
Most breast implant surgery is cosmetic. 90% is done on women who don't need it for medical reasons. So how many of them are developing serious side effects? No one really knows, because the government admits there is a chronic underreporting problem. Even so, we do know in 2018 there were 359 reported incidents related to breast implants, the most ever reported to Health Canada in just 1 year.
It's a society that desires big breasts. It's the patient who want to have bigger breasts to feel that they are somebody worthwhile. It's the surgeons that want to do it and makes a living doing it. It's a matter of demand.
Nikki's problems became too much to bear. Despite no clear diagnosis, she believes it's her implants that are making her sick, so she decides to get them removed.
How are you feeling?
I'm terrified. I'm really scared, but it has to be done. So I'm excited, but also terrified, scared. I just have to hope I make it through the surgery, and hopefully this will help.
That afternoon, with our help, she takes home her implants.
Ready to take a look? Whoa.
It's like exploded gel. Everyone kept telling me I'm crazy, and it's like, obviously I'm not.
What you don't know about breast implants. Undercover at 3 Toronto clinics, investigating how breast implants are sold. Nikki's implants are now in the hands of our expert. Meet chemist Pierre Blais. He has a business analyzing implants. For 50 years, he's examined over 15,000, warning people and governments of their potential dangers.
It's an implant which has a very high probability of being mechanically faulty.
These are Nikki's implants.
Is that a normal looking implant?
No, that is not a normal looking implant. I look at it, I see it's turbid, it's kind of milky.
Right.
It shouldn't be.
What does that tell you?
It tells me that the inside has picked up liquid from the patient. It's absorbed part of her. Now, this represents probably about half of the implants we get. Now, the right side is the one that has a harder life.
That looks nothing like the other implant.
Nikki's doctor acknowledges there was a hole in the implant, but tells us it looks like this because of the explant surgery. Blais has another theory.
It broke into 4 parts, but it didn't occur at the same time. Wow. It started out at one place, and as she moved and somehow did her daily activity like writing or exercising, the break gradually spread.
Really?
When you look at the instructions for use for a product like this and all the competitors, it says a rupture may happen. Mm-hmm. It's not really right. They should say a rupture will happen. It depends how long you have it.
Breast implant manufacturers say many studies over many years prove their products are safe. But Blais feels his experience examining thousands of implants proves otherwise.
You're saying every implant will rupture at some point?
Yeah, those that don't are exceptions.
So are you saying that if women get breast implants, they should expect a revolving door of surgeries?
Yes, a lifestyle, not an episode.
Congratulations on your first step towards our 24-hour breast augmentation surgery.
We want to ask our surgeons about how long implants will last. But first, we check out their websites. Here's Dr. Karas.
What's the
Well, I see very glamorous images of idealized kinds of women as opposed to, you know, here's a medical intervention that we can offer you.
Dr. Rice's site has a different feel.
Dr. Rice would certainly come closest because his website and he himself is really staying with evidence-based. He's talking evidence, and I think that's a really, really good thing.
And the risks are easy to find. It even says there will come a point in time that the implant will need to be replaced. And at Dr. Rice's clinic, his nurse seems to have a different message.
Like, am I gonna have to get this redone in 10 years? Like, how does
Nope,
it work?
so that's the old way of thinking, like, oh, you have to change your implants every 10 years. That's the old way. There's no expiry, really, on an implant. If they're intact and nothing's happened, then there's no reason to change them.
It's true, there's no expiry date, but the FDA says up to 20% will need to get their implants removed within 8 to 10 years. On Dr. Kara's website, under myths, it says you don't need to change your implants every 10 years, but in person, a mixed message.
So there's no chance these are gonna leave at all?
So they will break.
Hmm?
They will break in time. So, you know, like maybe 10 years, 20 years down the line, because the implant is expected to last forever. But when these ones break, there hasn't shown to be an issue. If they don't spread around your body and things like that.
Oh.
They don't spread around your body? But the FDA states once the implant breaks, silicone gel can migrate to other parts of the body, and it's hard to remove. On Dr. Eugenberg's website, it lists breast implant rupture as a risk, but then on his YouTube channel,
we're going to be testing people around Toronto to see who could rupture it.
Yeah.
We promise you it will not break.
Check out this video featuring his staff. Seems like implants are indestructible. Confused yet? Even in person, it's not clear-cut.
Yeah, okay. And how long, do they last?
They could conceivably last you. They're guaranteed for your life. If they rupture, we'll replace them for you for free. Okay. Most women do replace them after children. You need a lift, you need something, but you could conceivably have them for 25 years, 35 years, forever.
Forever? Not according to the FDA and Health Canada. They state breast implants are not lifetime devices. The longer you have implants, the more likely complications will occur. And when we continue asking about long-term risks, some mention breast implant illness. At Dr. Eugenberg's clinic,
you hear about breast implant illness. I've been here 7 years. I have had one patient that said that she felt unwell with them and had them removed and felt better. There's really no clinical data to prove it, but we all hear about that. So I always believe where there's smoke, there's fire.
Breast implant illness is not mentioned on Dr. Rice's website, and it doesn't come up in person when we ask about long-term risks. On Dr. Kara's website, under myths, it says there's no link between breast implants and autoimmune diseases. Many researchers agree. They dismiss any link, and so does his nurse.
I don't ever want to say, it's psychological, it's your brain, but a lot of the time it is.
Different messages, reflective of the debate about whether breast implant illness is real and whether doctors need to warn patients.
An implant does not leave you unscratched. It's a permanent change to your anatomy and a permanent change to your physiology. But that should be made clear to a patient.
The implant files continue on your marketplace. Breast implants.
I'm really happy with the way they are.
On the market for over 50 years.
If you are a true woman, you want to look your best.
And the risks?
I don't feel I'm at risk at all, no.
It's safe. It's 100% safe.
I have a new pair of titties.
The next part we have is
today, many people get the sales pitch online.
This is what they look like 48 hours after my surgery.
They're called testimonials, and some show up on surgeons' websites. That's Dr. Eugenberg with one of his happy patients.
I got my titties done. I got my titties done. Hey, I got my titties done. Oh, I got my titties done.
And on Dr. Rice's website, there's a glowing video review from a Toronto radio host.
I would definitely recommend Dr. Rice.
And you've probably noticed these before and after photos. Ontario's College of Physicians and Surgeons calls photos like these testimonials, same as these videos of patient experiences.
After the surgery was done, I was elated.
And here's the thing, testimonials are against the rules. Doctors aren't supposed to use them in ads, on their website, or on social media.
What is the problem with testimonials? Because you may find patients out there who say it gives them more information about what this process could be like.
It may, but testimonials get mixed up with clinical outcomes. So it's not a controlled clinical study. You don't know how people were selected for testimonials. And in many, but not all cases, they are selected because they're going to say positive things.
Bowman argues testimonials belong in marketing. They have no place in medicine because of the impact they can have on patients like Nikki.
You see all these people, how happy they are, and you're just like, I just want to be like that person. So, and then you keep shoving it in your face forever. I'm just like, okay, well, it's obviously safe. Like, why wouldn't I do it?
In 2017, the college cautioned Dr. Kara for using before and after photos in a magazine, but they're still on his website. And for Dr. Eugenberg, the allegations get more serious. He's charged with posting images of a patient online without her permission and pressuring her to follow and contribute to his social media accounts. Dr. Eugenberg denies all allegations. His hearing with the college is still pending. We ask all 3 surgeons to come on camera, but they decline. Overall, our bioethicist believes Dr. Rice had the most medical approach. Bottom line, mixed messages on all our visits and on the websites, and mixed messages from the Ontario College. There are no clear rules about how plastic surgeons are supposed to communicate risk to patients. And they tell us doctors could be penalized for using testimonials. But are they really cracking down? Those ads are everywhere.
I am thrilled for people to see me and say, wow, you look amazing.
For many, breast implants were the right choice. For others, like Nikki,
If I heard one thing saying, hey, your whole entire body is gonna not work anymore, like, no way I would have done it. But there was nothing like that, nothing.
if you want to know more about breast implants or any other medical device, check out our database. Our CBC data journalists fought for years to get reports about side effects for medical devices from Health Canada. Get informed.